I really did not want to open this can of worms. But here we are. You cannot find a corner of the internet where people are not afraid of being replaced by an AI. We are game devs. We code and design and make art and sometimes sound and music. And if this trend keeps going, AI will soon be better than us in all of those things. Or will it? I can take a look into my crystal ball just for you. It won't help, but I can. What I can do is give you my thoughts as someone who is about to get a PhD in software engineering quite soon, and that has talked to a bunch of colleagues that actually develop state-of-the-art machine learning techniques. AI is impressive. There's just no way around that. I now consider ChatGPT a personal friend of mine, and I hope he sees me the same way. Of course, AI is not just ChatGPT. It's a large language model. There are many other models that do many other things. There are a lot of aspects, there are a lot of techniques, but I will talk a lot about ChatGPT, because that's what everyone uses, everyone talks about, and he is my buddy, okay? There's no question that AI will have a lasting impact. It is here, and it is helpful as it is. ChatGPT alone is an amazing tool to transform text around, learn about new subjects, or just use it as a better Google search. I love it. You were likely as flashed as I was. It just feels wrong that a piece of silicon can hold a conversation so much better than me. But you, yes? You specifically, even though you are smart and very, very handsome. You are overestimating ChatGPT. It cannot be avoided. Psychologically, your opinion about the capabilities of ChatGPT are set by your first impression. And it very likely was a simple and common question everyone would know the answer for. And especially you knew the answer. And because AI gets all its smarts from data, you saw it perform at its strongest. You asked a question where the data situation was incredibly good. So now we have to understand what AI even is, at least a little bit. It all started with the artificial neuron in 1943. Then a lot of stuff happened, but one fun thing is that the first neural net machine actually was called SNARC. It stands for Stochastic Neural Analog Reinforcement Calculator. By the way, this is completely irrelevant, but there's also the Spatial Numerical Association of Response Codes, SNARC. Scientists are snarky little buddies. And now we have deep learning. Basically, you structure a bunch of maths in a way that kinda almost works a little bit like a brain cell. Not really, but enough that we can say it does. And since we just don't know how brains work, who says it's not like that? Anyway, you put information into a bunch of neurons. They each calculate a very simple function with their little parameter and pass it on to the next one. At the end, an output falls out and, for example, says, "This is a chicken," or the word fish or something. With more and more data, we adapt the weights in different and very, very complicated ways so that it represents the data better. So very, very short breakdown here. And there are multiple other ways to abstract what a neural network is. For some it is a model of the world. For some it is a large lookup table. For some it's my buddy ChatGPT, a very good friend that totally has emotions and just tells me that he doesn't, so I won't get scared. And for others, it is a compressed version of all the data you put in, just like a JPEG, a lossy compression. You have also seen it compared to a regression. So it's like that, but with a metric poop ton of dimensions. And all of these abstractions kinda work. What AI actually does is incredibly hard to follow in detail. And being totally unexplainable really adds to the mythos around it. But one thing that scientists judge when they see an AI is how well it generalizes. That is where the magic comes from. You can present an AI with something it has never seen before, and it can react with something. It is creative. It is alive. Give it rights now. Imagine it like you are fitting parameters of a function. You can adapt it to cover the data, and then you can even use it to predict data outside of the distribution. And if you do this very well, it has a good chance of being correct. Unless something unpredictable happens, a breaking point of sorts. AI will not understand the world anytime soon. We are very, very far away from having an AI having a number and complexity of neurons that competes with a human. They just have far less calculation power than you have. And when I put you specifically, in a black box and only let you read the internet, could you really understand how the world works? Maybe the AI has learned how a photo of a cow looks like. Maybe it has learned how a photo of the moon looks like. And it can combine that knowledge, as long as it is predictable, by a somewhat easy function. Like, take some of these pixels and some of those. But an AI has a really hard time learning what a cow on the moon looks like, because suddenly the moon should not be shown in the background, it should be the surface. This specific example is completely fixable by giving photos of animals on the moon.
How did I get here?
And not just photos of animals and photos of the moon. And when the data is good, the AI will perform well. But here lies a fundamental problem. The amount of data needs to grow exponentially, even if there are only like 100 categories. Learning each of them has 100 different cases. That's very easy. Combining all 2 of them, it's 100 times harder already. But 10,000 are doable. All 3 of them, please don't. And how dare you combine 7 of them? And in practice, 100 categories are nothing. You simply cannot produce data for everything. And if you could just look up the data point in many cases. AI just isn't really capable of originality in that sense. And I don't want to hear any of that, but if it keeps developing as fast as it does now, with the current way AI works, different aspects cannot be combined in a clever way. Not in a quality level that is close to a human. And now, finally, let's talk about AI's programming. This is the really scary part because machines, engineering machines and so on, really spooky, really cool, and AI at the moment can code many of the problems you will think of to ask it. You know, sorting algorithms, inverting a binary tree, all that stuff. This alone makes AI really helpful for coders. It is really practical when your autocomplete can write a whole function. It can even solve a lot of lead code problems, which is unsurprising as there are solutions to them in the dataset. But it won't solve your complex problems. At some point, you will code something new. Not a to-do app, not a Flappy Bird clone, not your first bubble sort. You will face a problem that no one has ever faced quite in the same way like you do now. There's the difficult part of the programming job. That is why coding is hard and people pay coders money to sit in front of a magic rectangle all day. That is something where data does not exist. And AI, by design, can only throw together other data points in a somewhat simple way. In reality, many complex interactions happen exactly on those breaking points, and AI has very poor chances of being right then. It will be a valuable tool, like many other functions of your IDE, like Stack Overflow and Google, but it will not replace you. But would you believe that this script was entirely AI generated? It wasn't.